All right, hi fourth graders. Welcome to your first e-learning lesson, internet online learning lesson for English language arts. So if your parents already picked up, or the person in charge of you at home, if they already picked up the packet from school, that's good. So take all of that out, please. I'll show you which ones we're going to be working on. And if they haven't yet, that's okay. You can still watch this video. I'll go over the different parts of the English version that you will need, okay? So here we go. So take out, so if you're not sure what to take out, I'm gonna share my screen with you so you can see what I'm talking about. Right, so this is Mrs. Blaber's screen. I'm gonna open up my internet. Oops, where's my, opening up my internet right here. I don't like this bar up here. I'm gonna move it to the bottom. I am using Zoom. It helps to record things. All right, so I'm gonna open up my internet. And a place that you can find everything you need for your online learning while you are away from us is our school website. So keaau.k12.hi.us, go there. Okay, so you have, this is our website right here. Click the parent section, click that. It'll bring you to this page. Our academic coaches and Mr. Pelayo and Mr. Zach helped to make this. So if you scroll down, it says enrichment sources for each grade level for the months of March and April 2020. Go down to grade 4 because you're in grade 4, and ta-da! It'll show you exactly what you need until you come back to school. Okay, so Miss Wood's on right now. Okay, so we are only going to be focusing on our English language arts for today. So you will need the novel study and you will need the novel study handouts. Now, some of you are in Miss Wood's classroom and you're reading How to Eat Fried Worms. And so she'll be working with you on that. Those of you not in Miss Wood's class, you are working on Tales of a Fourth Grade Nothing. But if you are in Miss Wood's class and you also want to do Tales of a Fourth Grade Nothing, that's no problem. You can as well. I like to read a lot, so I'd be doing both books. All right, so look at the novel study. So you're going to need to take out your handout, and this is one of the books that we're going to be reading today. Well, we're going to be reading chapters 1 and 2 from this book today. So it's called Tales of a Fourth Grade Nothing by Judy Blume, one of my favorite books. I read this when I was in 4th grade. The other resource we are going to be using is the handout here. So we're going to be doing today, according to the calendar, pages 5 through 10. So where's the calendar, you ask? Well, I'm so glad you asked that question. The calendar is on the 2nd page. We are in week 1. So right now we are working on Monday, March 30th's handout. So the novel study, chapter 1 and 2 is what we have to read today. And then, according to your 4th grade teachers, we have to do pages 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. All right, so let's go there right now. You can take a look, open your book, right? Open your book. The first thing I want you to do, though, is, right, good readers make predictions about what the book's going to be about. So if you take a look, it says Judy Blume, that's the author. Title is Tales of a Fourth Grade Nothing. A tale is a story, like little stories. Take a look at the front cover. There's a boy. What feeling do you think he's feeling right now? He doesn't look happy. And then there are like juice boxes behind him. And there's another little boy running with a fishbowl over his head. And looks like there's a turtle in there. So make a prediction. What do you think this is going to be about? All right. And so the first thing we want to do is let's go over to page 5 of this novel study. So I'm going to scroll down. The page numbers are on the bottom right-hand corner. Go down there. Here we go. This is page 5. Write your name on the line there, just in case your brothers and sisters think it's their work. You can make sure you have your name on it and they won't do it for you. All right, here we go. Page 5. Tell me a story. Directions. Before reading chapter 1, look at the book cover and the title of the novel, Tales of a Fourth Grade Nothing. Use the word list below to help you predict what you think the book will be about. Write your prediction on the lines below. So here is the word list. Peter Turtle Terror, Brother Juice Parents, Fudge Throwing Mess, Adorable Pet Bedroom, Fishbowl, Tantrums, 4th grade. So your job is look at the cover of the book, make a prediction. What do you think this book's going to be about? And then use some of the words from this list and write maybe 3 to 5 sentences. Make a prediction. And you could start by writing, I predict the book Tales of a Fourth Grade Nothing will be about, and then back it up with evidence from the cover. All right, so what we're going to do now is we're going to actually go to the book and we're going to read the first 2 chapters. So I'm not reading the chapters aloud. I actually found a YouTube site that's going to read it for us. So open up to page 4, and chapter 1 is called The Big Winner. You can follow along with your book. You can listen. So I'm going to move over to the YouTube audio session and I'm going to play it for you. All right, hopefully it works.
Your copy of Tales of a Fourth Grade Nothing by Judy Blume.
All right,
Chapter 1, The Big Winner. I won dribble at Jimmy Fargo's birthday party. All the other guests got to take home goldfish in little plastic bags. I won him because I guessed there were 348 jelly beans in Mrs. Fargo's jar. Really, there were 423. She told us later. Still, my guess was closest. Peter Warren Hatcher is the big winner, Mrs. Fargo announced. At first, I felt bad that I didn't get a goldfish too. Then Jimmy handed me a glass bowl. Inside, there was some water and 3 rocks. A tiny green turtle was sleeping on the biggest rock. All the other guys looked at their goldfish. I knew what they were thinking. They wished they could have tiny green turtles too. I named my turtle Dribble while I was walking home from Jimmy's party. I live at 25 West 68th Street. It's an old apartment building, but it's got one of the best elevators in New York City. There are mirrors all around. You can see yourself from every angle. There's a soft, cushioned bench to sit on if you're too tired to stand. The elevator operator's name is Henry Bevelheimer. He lets us call him Henry because Bevelheimer's very hard to say. Our apartment's on the 12th floor, but I don't have to tell Henry. He already knows. He knows everybody in the building. He's that smart. He even knows I'm 9 and in the 4th grade. I showed him Dribble right away. I want him at a birthday party, I said. Henry smiled. Your mother's going to be surprised. Henry was right. My mother was really surprised. Her mouth opened when I said, just look what I won at Jimmy Fargo's birthday party. I held up my tiny green turtle. I've already named him Dribble. Isn't that a great name for a turtle? My mother made a face. I don't like the way he smells, she said. What do you mean? I asked. I put my nose right down close to him. I didn't smell anything but turtle. So Dribble smells like turtle, I thought. Well, he's supposed to. That's what he is. And I'm not going to take care of him either, my mother added. Of course you're not, I told her. He's my turtle, and I'm the one who's going to take care of him. You're going to change his water and clean out his bowl and feed him and all of that, she asked. Yes, I said, and even more. I'm going to see to it that he's happy. This time my mother made a funny noise, like a groan. I went into my bedroom. I put Dribble on top of my dresser. I tried to pet him and tell him he would be happy living with me. But it isn't easy to pet a turtle. They aren't soft and furry, and they don't lick you or anything. Still, I had my very own pet at last. Later, when I sat down at the dinner table, my mother said, "I smell turtle. Peter, go and scrub your hands." Some people might think that my mother is my biggest problem. She doesn't like turtles, and she's always telling me to scrub my hands. That doesn't mean just run them under the water. Scrub means I'm supposed to use soap and rub my hands together. Then I've got to rinse and dry them. I ought to know by now. I've heard it enough. But my mother isn't my biggest problem. Neither is my father. He spends a lot of time watching commercials on TV. That's because he's in the advertising business. These days, his favorite commercial is the one about Juicio. He wrote it himself. And the president of Juicio Company liked it so much, he sent my father a whole crate of Juicio for our family to drink. It tastes like a combination of oranges, pineapples, grapefruits, pears, and bananas. And if you want to know the truth, I'm getting pretty sick of drinking it. But Juicio isn't my biggest problem either. My biggest problem is my brother, Farley Drexel Hatcher. He's 2.5 years old. Everybody calls him Fudge. I feel sorry for him if he's going to grow up with a name like Fudge, but I don't say a word. It's none of my business. Fudge is always in my way. He messes up everything he sees, and when he gets mad, he throws himself flat on the floor and he screams, and he kicks, and he bangs his fists. The only time I really like him is when he's sleeping. He sucks 4 fingers on his left hand and makes a slurping noise. When Fudge saw Dribble, he said, "Oh, see." And I said, "That's my turtle, get it? Mine. You don't touch him." Fudge said, "No touch." Then he laughed like crazy. Chapter 2.
All right, so we're going to stop there. We read chapter 1, and let's just talk about chapter 1. So chapter 1, you met quite a few characters, right? You met Peter, you met Dribble, the turtle, Peter's mom, and you met Fudge. And Fudge is going to bring a lot of joy and laughter to your life throughout this book. So let's jump to the Tell Me a Story. So far, has your prediction been correct? Were you able to predict like some correct things about what this story is going to be about? Pat yourself up in the back if you got some things right. And if you didn't, don't worry. Predictions do not need to be true. The reason why good readers make predictions about books is to help their brain take in the information and learn better. So good readers always make predictions about books. All right, so let's move down to page 7, Facts and Opinions. So it says, directions, list 3 facts and 3 opinions that were expressed in chapter 1. What you need to do now is go back to what we read and decide what really happened. That's a fact. What really happened in the book, actually. One thing we know that happened in the book, read the first sentence. I won Dribble at Jimmy Fargo's birthday party. According to the book, that is a fact, right? So you would go back to your comprehension and write down Peter won a turtle at a birthday party, period. Now, when we think about opinions, what you need to do is write some opinions that you heard or read about in the book. What are some opinions that were in the book? So opinions are not necessarily they're not necessarily true all the time, but a lot of times they're how people feel about something. So where would you find an opinion in the book? And once you find the opinion, you can write it here on the line next to the fact. Okay, so find 3 facts and 3 opinions in chapter 1. Okay, let's move over to move over to page 8 where it says the big winner comprehension questions. On this page are 5 questions. What your teachers would like you to do to help make sure you understood what was read is, number 1, name the problem Peter faces in chapter 1. You can write it here in the white space. And try your best to use complete sentences. Remember the RACE strategy that your teachers taught you? Restate the question into answer form, answer the question, cite evidence, and then explain. So name the problem Peter faces in chapter 1. You can begin it by saying, the problem Peter faces in chapter 1 is, and then support it with evidence. Number 2, share a text-to-self connection about chapter 1. For example, do you have a sibling that drives you crazy? So Mrs. Blaber can totally share a text-to-self connection right now. I used to own a turtle. I forgot where I got the turtle from, but I used to take the turtle out for walks. And then one day when I took the turtle out for a walk, I lost it. Like really, I lost it. I couldn't find it. I know that's such a sad story, sorry. But I used to have a turtle. Number 3, list 3 reasons why Peter does not like fudge. So go back to chapter 1. Why do you think Peter does not like fudge? Number 4, pretend you were invited to Jimmy Fargo's birthday party. Would you rather win a turtle or a fish? Why? So explain why. And number 5, Peter guessed that there were 348 jelly beans in the jar. This jar contained 423 jelly beans. How many jelly beans did Peter miss? Oh my gosh, Mrs. Blaber sees that your 4th grade teachers threw in a math question. Good for them. So answer that and try your best to answer in complete sentences. And if you need extra binder paper, extra space because this space is too small, just grab a composition book or a blank piece of paper somewhere in your house and then write it all out. All right, here we go. Pages 9 and 10 have to do with chapter 2. So I'm going to go back to chapter 2's read aloud, and we're going to read only part of it, okay? And we're going to stop close to the middle of it because I would like you to read the rest on your own. But notice that you can find this read aloud on YouTube, and it can help you read it while you also should be reading along. So here we go.
Mr. and Mrs. Juicio. One night, my father came home from the office all excited. He told us Mr. and Mrs. Yarby were coming to New York. He's the president of the Juicio Company. He lives in Chicago. I wondered if he'd bring my father another crate of Juicio. If he did, I'd probably be drinking it for the rest of my life. Just thinking about it was enough to make my stomach hurt. My father said he invited Mr. and Mrs. Yarby to stay with us. My mother wanted to know why they couldn't stay at a hotel like most people who come to New York. My father said they could, but he didn't want them to. He thought they'd be more comfortable staying with us. My mother said that was about the silliest thing she'd ever heard. But she fixed up Fudge's bedroom for our guests. She put fancy sheets and a brand new blanket on the hide-a-bed. That's a sofa that opens up into a bed at night. It's in Fudge's room because that used to be our den. Before he was born, we watched TV in there. And lots of times, Grandma slept over on the hide-a-bed. Now we watch TV right in the living room, and Grandma doesn't sleep over very often. My mother moved Fudge's crib into my room. He's going to get a regular bed when he's there, my mother says. There are a lot of reasons I don't like to sleep in the same room as Fudge. I found that out 2 months ago when my bedroom was being painted. I had to sleep in Fudge's room for 3 nights because the paint smell made me cough. For one thing, he talks in his sleep. And if a person didn't know better, a person could get scared. Another thing is that slurping noise he makes. It's true that I like to hear it when I'm awake, But when I'm trying to fall asleep, I like things very quiet. When I complained about having to sleep with Fudge, my mother said, "It's just for 2 nights, Peter." "I'll sleep in the living room," I suggested, "on the sofa, or even a chair." "No," my mother said, "you will sleep in your bedroom, in your own bed." There was no point in arguing. Mom wasn't going to change her mind. She spent the day in the kitchen. She really cooked up a storm. She used so many pots and pans, Fudge didn't have any left to bang together. And that's one of his favorite pastimes, banging pots and pans together. A person can get an awful headache listening to that racket. Right after lunch, my mother opened up the dinner table. We don't have a separate dining room. When we have company for dinner, we eat in one end of the living room. When Mom finished setting the table, she put a silver bowl filled with flowers right in the middle. I said, "Hey, Mom, it looks like you're expecting the president or something." "Very funny, Peter," my mother answered. Sometimes my mother laughs like crazy at my jokes. Other times she pretends not to get them. And then there are times when I know she gets them, but she doesn't seem to like them. This was one of those times. So I decided no more jokes until after dinner. I went to Jimmy Fargo's for the afternoon. I came home at 4 o'clock. I found my mother standing over the dinner table mumbling. Fudge was on the floor playing with my father's socks. I'm not sure why he likes socks so much, but if you give him a few pairs, he'll play quietly for an hour. I said, "Hi, Mom, I'm home." "I'm missing 2 flowers," my mother said. I don't know how she noticed that 2 flowers were missing from her silver bowl, because there were at least a dozen of them. But sure enough, when I checked, I saw 2 stems with nothing on them. "Don't look at me, Mom," I said. "What would I do with 2 measly flowers?"
Okay, I'm going to stop there, and we still have more of chapter 2 to read, but for today, you're supposed to only read chapter 1 and chapter 2, right? Please continue reading on your own the rest of chapter 2, and someone else in the family maybe can help you read the rest of chapter 2. We were introduced to, again, to Mom, and Mom is preparing something special, and it looks like, right, Peter likes to joke with his mom. He's a jokester. I told you, when I read this book when I was in 4th grade, I laughed a lot. It was hilarious. So find out more by continuing to read chapter 2. So many funny things happen. Okay, so let's go over what you need to do for pages 9 and 10. So after you read chapter 2, this page 9 is asking you to describe the different senses you felt when you read about the different events that happened. So the first event I think that probably happened was maybe Peter was with his mom, and Mom was like standing looking over the table, and there was a problem. And Peter asked, "What's the problem?" And the mom is saying that 2 flowers are missing, right? So you're going to find out what happened there. So describe in each of these boxes, when you read the text or when you heard it read aloud to you, what did you feel? What did you see? What did you hear? What did you smell? Because readers, good readers, when we are reading something, it makes us really feel something. And you know what? Brain research, scientists have said that when you're reading something and your brain is taking it all in, it feels to your brain like it's actually happening. So describe them. Describe your different senses in each of these boxes. And on page 10, there are comprehension questions. There are 4 of them. Answer them using the RACE strategy in complete sentences, and answer them on the lines given above. If you need more space, go ahead and take out a blank sheet of paper or a piece of binder paper, and you can add it there. First question, what is the genre of this story? Remember, genre is, what type of story is this? Is this fiction or is this nonfiction? Fiction means fake. It didn't happen. And nonfiction means it's not fake. It really happened in real life. So answer that question and support it with evidence. Remember, every time you answer a question, you must support it with evidence from the text and also maybe the real world. Number 2, hey mom, it looks like you're expecting the president or something. What does Peter mean when he says this to his mother? Answer it above. Number 3, have you ever received a present you disliked? How did you feel? Were you polite about receiving the gift? And number 4, why did Mr. and Mrs. Yardley go to the hotel? Do you think mother was relieved they left? Okay, so for Monday, that's what you need to do. And if it takes you longer than today to do it, and you have to wait, finish a lot of the questions tomorrow, that's totally fine. Not to worry about it. Your teachers want to just make sure that you are reading and writing and talking about what you're reading and writing with people who are in your house or with me on the video session. All right, so there is, I'm going to go back to the regular session where you just see my face. Oops. Okay, okay, hi. All right, so that is the gist of what you should be doing for your English language arts today, and that's probably how it should also look tomorrow. Go through the questions, go through the text, read it aloud, and if you have any questions, please let your teacher know. But you can also text me if you have any questions, okay? My phone number is 217-2944. What I would also like from you is let me know what more you need me to explain over these videos. Because Mrs. Blaber needs to be better at delivering these videos. This is the first time I delivered this kind of learning in a video like this. So if there's something I could do better, please text me. My phone number is 217-2944, or you can email me at janice.blaber@k12.hi.us. I'm going to write it down here. So you will know. Okay, so there it is. So Janice Blaber at K12, is it backwards? Let me open up a Word document. Let me share something else. Sorry about that. Okay, because I would like your feedback on how to be better. Okay, so give me some feedback. What can Mrs. Blaber do better? Oops. And maybe what did you like about today's session? Oh my. And you can email your response to Janice, that's my first name, Blaber at k12.hi.us, or you can text me at 217-2944. Okay? What can I do to do better? And what did you like about this session? Okay? It's important for me to get some feedback, because if I don't do better, that means maybe you're not learning as best as you could be learning, right? Alrighty, so I'm gonna stop this share right now. Okay, I'll see you guys again tomorrow. Thank you. Please keep reading, and I hope you are also able to take a look at the math session. That session should be extremely shorter than today's session. We miss you guys. Stay safe, be well, and read every single day, please. Thank you.